Hey everyone, welcome to the first sort of podcast type thing that I'm doing on this channel. So, I was talking with a few friends in another Christian Furs Discord channel, and I was talking to them about potentially doing something like this where I literally just sit at a microphone and talk for a little while about a subject, because I can talk for quite a bit about these sorts of things. So I'm going to try this sort of thing. I'm going to see how it works out. I am learning how to do certain things, so please be patient. But I'm going to do my best to just make this as insightful as I can and just try to speak my mind about these things. If you enjoy these sorts of things, leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Let me know how this works out, and I'm hoping to improve on this format in the future. So today, for this episode, I want to talk about performance, and specifically performance in Fursuit, which, admittedly, this is something that I've mostly observed. And so you can take my thoughts on this with a grain of salt, but I think it's a rather interesting subject to talk about. Because when it comes to fursuits and stuff, I think one of the biggest appeals of fursuiting is the fact that you can, portray or become a character. The thing that really distinguishes fursuiting from, say, being a mascot for a school team is that fursuiting is very individual. The thing about a mascot is that a mascot is almost never there 100% simply to just entertain. They are there for some sort of grander business purpose. Mascots represent a business or a brand, and so they are there to represent that business or brand. When you're a fursuiter, you are essentially your own business or brand, and so you can express yourself however you feel, which I think is an appealing aspect of it. Now, personally, as a Christian, I think that there are definitely ways in which that can be expressed that are aligning with God's word, and there are ways that can be expressed that do not align with God's word. I want to save that for another topic. I feel like I want to address some more theological stuff like that in a more formal setting or perhaps with other people. But for now, I want to talk about this art of performance because I feel like this is something that isn't talked about a lot within the sort of furry and fursuiting sphere. A lot of the time, I see fursuits as essentially, people joke around and say they're just basic giant animal carpets, and a lot of the time, I see people sort of treat it as such. People going to convention and stuff. Obviously, you see people posing a lot for pictures and stuff and being in character then. But it's not very often where I will, watch a video of someone fursuiting and actually, see them, be in character. And I think that is one of the most appealing parts of a fursuit. In fact, I think that's how it becomes a more effective practice. For me personally, I remember when I was a kid, I was actually very scared of mascots. And I think part of that reason for me was because a lot of the mascots I came across weren't really trying to get into it or be in character. They were just kind of in costume for the sake of being in a costume. There were some, I remember specifically, there were a couple of mascots at my hockey. I used to watch a lot of hockey as a kid, and there were some mascots at my hockey game that were pretty good. But besides that, I remember, a lot of mascots just not really being in character and stuff, and I guess that's what sort of freaked me out about it. It was just, I can't really explain it. It just really freaked me out. And then when I learned about fursuiting and I learned how people can essentially be their own mascots, I actually found that really cool. And one thing I really enjoy talking, especially to my friends about, is how I'm going to perform when I am in suit. One thing that I've thought a lot about is, so me personally, I wouldn't say I'm shy per se. I can tend to be shy sometimes, but I wouldn't say I'm overall shy. I would say I'm more introverted. I do genuinely really like talking to people, but I'm more introverted. And so with Whistler, my Sona, I wanted to exaggerate that a little bit, and I wanted to make him a sort of like, sort of shy. Not like demure or anything. Just a bit like socially awkward and shy, I guess, you could say. And so I've been thinking about how I'm going to portray that in character and stuff. One really cool thing that I thought of, that I might do with friends is that Whistler might say hide behind other fursuiters if he's scared of someone. Or Whistler might tend to say like grab his shoulder or grab his arm or like, physical actions that that really portray this aspect of, okay, well, this character, he likes to talk to people, he just doesn't like to, initiate that conversation, which is what his character, I would say. And a lot of the time it's like I don't see people talking about their characters in character enough, and I really want to see more of that, because again, I think some of the greatest joy that you can get out of fursuiting is this acting part, is portraying another character. One thing that I actually would like to see, like at conventions and stuff, that I think would be cool, is if there was a sort of drama production that happened at the event. Um, like, I don't know, like gather a few people, um yeah, I don't know, like do some famous play, do a play that you make on your own, and be in character and stuff. I also see this talked a lot about, and like there are some panels that I see talk about this sort of thing. And while, like I see it talked a lot about in the vein of like pictures and stuff, but never when you're like moving. Or not never, but a lot of the time I don't see that. I think one sort of character that I think of a lot when I think of this art of fursuit performance is Telephone. I'm sure anyone who has even like a little bit of knowledge of the furry fandom knows about Telephone. Telephone was one of the first sort of performers in this aspect, because what happened is that she would have this sort of I'm not sure exactly what it is. I've seen people use like wacky whistles, but she had something in her mouth that she used while she was suiting, and she would make it, and it would make all sorts of silly sounds, and it would basically sound like she was speaking in some crazy language. So then what she would do is she would put on Telephone, and she would do that through Telephone. So it would sound like Telephone was speaking this crazy language. And I mean, it's like Telephone is a species that is completely made up, so that totally makes sense. And it sounded like she was making this speaking in this like crazy yet like kind of cute language and stuff. And do a ton of actions, and she would essentially perform as her character. Like, essentially the world was her stage, and that is something I really really like. That's something I really really like, and I think that's personally also why I really like how I remember way back when fursuits were kind of like, you would just get the thing. Nowadays I see almost all the time you have fursuits having eyelids, which I think are really cool for expressing and stuff. And I think it's rather interesting. Like, I see some people have, like, the closed off eyelids, which I think is really good for pictures and could even be good for performing, but logistically, it isn't the best. But when it comes to things like performance and stuff, sometimes logistics are a thing that you might just have to live with, I guess, if you want to maintain character, if you want to be in character, if you want to do this sort of stuff well. I think that and for me personally, it's like, again, when I get my suit, one thing that I intend to do is I intend to make it a performance. Like for me personally, one reason that fursuiting appeals to me is because I really like doing drama stuff, but or I do like doing some drama stuff, but I'm really not comfortable doing drama stuff unless it's a character that I feel like I can portray well, that really aligns with me. You know, there are lots of people that can do all sorts of characters. I really can't do that, and there are still lots of scenarios where I am, you know, like uncomfortable doing drama stuff. But when it's something that I can do, I do love doing drama stuff. It's really fun. The other issue is that like I tend to not express myself the best with my voice or my eyes or my face or like that. And so, you know, fursuiting is a way where it's like, okay, I can do all this and I can do it silently. And so I've been thinking a lot about that, thinking a lot about how I'm going to perform, how I'm going to act, especially given the fact that when I'm going to be suiting, when I'm going to be doing this sort of thing, something that I'm going to be doing it with kids and stuff, right? And so thinking about, you know, like, how do I interact with kids? How do I go about all of that and stuff? And it's really, really interesting to think about and really, really interesting to explore. And I honestly, I want to talk to more people about this aspect of performance and how they perform and stuff, because performing just seems very fun. It seems very fun, and it seems like it gives some sort of purpose to having a suit, because I don't want a fursuit just to be able to like go to a few conventions a few times a year. Like, I don't want a fursuit and spend money on a fursuit just to spend more money. Like, I do want to, you know, I do want it to have some sort of purpose and stuff, and that purpose doesn't necessarily have to be monetary. But at the very least, I do want the purpose of my suit not to be just, okay, I'm going to spend money just to spend even more money on conventions and flights and hotels and, you know, that sort of thing. And so that's why I'm so interested in this aspect of performance. And I feel like there aren't I want to talk to more people about this, and I want to like see what they would do and stuff. And you know, like, if I do go to conventions and stuff with people, I want to perform with them. I want to have like funny inside jokes and do stuff with them. Like, the thumbnail is something that I commissioned from one of my friends that I recently commissioned and stuff, and it looked great. And like, this sort of thing is I guess like ideas I would have had for like how I would want to perform. You know, it's like Whistler is very easily scared. So if people are down, you know, it's like, hey, again, like, have Whistler like hide behind people or poke behind corners or like not, I guess, like make the first move when talking and stuff. And, you know, you could also have out of character moments that could be really, really interesting. So I don't know. I just think this whole aspect of performing is really, really interesting, and I want to talk to more people about it. So like, please let me know in the comments, guys. If you have a fursuit, how do you sort of perform? What is your character like, and how do you portray that through your character and stuff? I want more people to talk about this, and I want to continue this conversation. So let me know what you guys think. Anyways, that's about it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching / listening. I hope to do more stuff like this in the future, and I hope to get more people on this so I can actually, you know, like, talk to them and have a conversation with them. Let me know what you think in the comments. I want to talk to you guys more about this in the comments. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.